fit Olympic Marseille and the players ne fit no more consistent they will give Paris Saint-Germain a challenge. That is not to say Paris Saint-Germain doesn't remain my favorite for the French Liga, but I actually believe the competitive level of the league, it was a mutimi peja. A move peja na nkoye dull na nkoye boring. That means it was a Monaco. Any a team beat Olympic Marseille. Emone monemu emu peja ni jina de mawomo. In the Spanish La Liga, now we are talking about a 3-horse race, not necessarily a 2-horse race this time around. The reason why I'm talking about a 3-horse race in Nigeria, Atletico Madrid kind of investment on my year within their team this season, going into it, and the Villarreal Bebo Oviedo, Real Oviedo mo. We are better to other games in the continue. Barcelona and Bobo Mayoka will come and do a proper preview of these games. But fancy to whet your appetite going into the league. I think this is the season. Ansha Obi league in term. Despite my favorite being FC Barcelona, last season Obi real league in term. San this season be. Menya sure see Bebo league na real na be a Barcelona league in be about 20 points. No, 18 points and Barcelona league in February. They remain the favorite, but I actually believe that teams like Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid will continue to push FC Barcelona. For Bilbao, I think say omu team no omu lack one or two dynamics be, and they are not consistent in getting results season after season. But this time around, no, you look at Atletico Madrid now, it looks like tactically they are shifting from what we used to know about them.
Okay.
And you look at a team like Real Madrid, a new coach, a new system. I think this is the season Real Madrid is also going to be about team performance, not necessarily about individual performances of the team. Sebia, you be season vicious na the team na to le kon there be. I think this one particular season Real Madrid will be playing like a quality team together.
Okay.
I want to push the likes of FC Barcelona. But fancy, Barcelona still remains the favorite in this particular discussion we are making. But I also believe that it's also going to be the league of the number 9s. Fancy, the reason why I'm saying it's going to be the league of the number 9s in Atletico Madrid. Julian Alvarez, Alexander Sørloth. You read the number of goals that Sørloth shared in the last season. Share the number of goals that Julian Alvarez shared in the last season. Then you come to FC Barcelona. The number of goals Rafinha. Any the likes of Yama Mose, you know. Nani na babejina papa ba akona so in the shape of Robert Lewandowski. It's another story about Lewandowski say, Washansia oye training na good news the man FC Barcelona. Because if you want to win the league, you need your number 9 to be on top of his game.
Yeah.
And when you bit say Kylian Mbappe on the ball na Real Madrid last season, you really no na say goals do. Even am no ka say European golden boot no on a title na day. Ekutano. So the battle of the number 9s will only need their team to complement the numbers they give. And the trophy will be theirs. It's Barcelona and Lewandowski. But they bought Barcelona pani and say, Omunya team ni bi amwa Canadian numbers ni bi here dey. Eka on Ferran Torres, Rafinha. Where the number of goals that these guys share. Femi Lopez from the bench. But for Real Madrid, anye Vinicius ne Kylian Mbappe. Ebi anawa the other na wow player Vavadi. Puma shot back could be featured. Net. Jude Bellingham did not add more goals like 2 previous seasons. Or the goals with Real Madrid.
Because Ancelotti is a sign.
Ancelotti is a sign. No. So this time around, no, if your number 9s are playing and they are scoring, you need your team to complement them. Set everyone the perfect balance to get results. At the end of the day, not team now you're overly reliant on one person. At the end of the day, no team one team in the league, you know. But to say it, Barcelona remains my favorite. I think the top scorer will still be between Kylian Mbappe and Robert Lewandowski. The top scorer for the league, you know. The third force of Abeshim, you know, but Julian Alvarez. But I think these two are really going to step up. But the young player of the year, I'm looking for, said this is another Gula will set a perfect example within the setup of Real Madrid. And give them the results of Muya. Because he looks like Obia or more trusting ye pa. Say Obetimi push it forward. Now what team is. But I'm also looking for a big season for a player like Balde. Last season, one said consistent games for Barcelona. But I think he comes in this season looking fresh. and I expect him so bet my consistent Yama Barcelona. No more set me a results also set me. Interesting times ahead for us as we are coming to start the Spanish La Liga. Now in the English Premier League, and I'm assuming you to me say about 4-horse race. Who remains semi favorite Manchester City to win the league. But me to me is about 4-horse race. 4-horse race near wine. Ebejina Chelsea, ebejina Arsenal, ebejina Liverpool, na ejina Manchester City. Omo phone ni ebejina omo so. But fancy, obi are excited about it due to san yoma we am ebubo din, you know. Say 4-horse race enya to say the Liverpool last season na league no man running away with it at a point in time. I think this is another league it will go down to the wire again. Enya to say last season. And I think it will be very close. Arsenal, adia no mu hia pa no bia de tabo man no bia de omatem de bia de inde out na so mu hia center forward. And then omako adwaman so akwa Vitor Gyökeres the neighbor. Now how many goals do you expect Vitor Gyökeres to score? You have strikers in aspect so. But I think they are also trying to fix certain missing pieces within their setup, at least to help push them. Attack will win you games, defense will win you titles.
Yes.
I think when you look at the Premier League quietly, Arsenal and their defense are strong enough to compete because of Mosquera, or Gabriel Magalhaes, or William Saliba, or Ben White, or Ricardo Calafiori. Most of these guys have experience and the quality to give you the results that you want, especially from your defense. In the midfield, Wakakofa Zubimendi Dinaba, quality deep line playmaker. Me to me say Onyani Dea or deadly line breaking passes, assisting from the middle of the park and arriving late in the box for shot. There is also still Declan Rice in this particular setup. So I think Arsenal team know as a whole, and what they're meant to be part of the 4 teams are or moving making league very competitive and keep it close. Mikel Arteta wakofa new set piece bi diaba na no hweba ko bia no guard ko share omu nyina be gu say na no guard nko ate no honi aboba ko panyan. They will try and move with that particular dark arts in such instances. Number 2, over a team like Liverpool. I think Liverpool last season and this season expectation in mobile page fancy. You can't win the league and expect expectations to drop. The moment you were able to win the league without any major signing, Obeka se Federico Chiesa, me who Federico Chiesa be signing.
No, say no dey obi enim say.
What you say?
Na Chiesa o free
Diaba. And Obia kura na anyo say Chiesa kura so be Liverpool aba start here Luis Diaz mo ne Cody Gakpo. But this season Liverpool are making significant signings. Wakofa Florian Wirtz the number. Wakofa Hugo Ekitike the night the number. Now you look at the kind of signings that Liverpool into their setup. Milos Kekes, Jeremy Frimpong. Yan Franchi trim say o check the Premier League last season and say you top 3 left backs are Milos Kekes count. Yan Franchi trim say in the Germany Bundesliga say you top 3 right backs are Jeremy Frimpong count. Yan Franchi trim say you top 3 attacking midfielders in the Bundesliga Florian Wirtz count.
Yes.
And I was also top 5 center forwards in the Bundesliga last season. Hugo Ekitike count. So Liverpool have not only gone into the market to bring in quantity.
4 major
leagues quality players no to complement Omodo last season. So expectations and drop it to say the last season no be and Shedan Liverpool. No, this season no be our expectations say Liverpool. I don't know in the last season no be atra. No more set me aka results be. And what the be also to send any so Liverpool points are more accumulating the last season was not better to some seasons or more also second. Fancy na Manchester City ni Arsenal ni na mo na so. Some seasons no more accumulating e be 92 points, e be 93 points. Fancy ni no more timi afanyi league no. So this time around no obi aranimu say Liverpool are not only going to perform and get results, but Liverpool will be able to reach the 90-point mark in order to win the league. Because this season league is much more competitive than last season. Because Obia will Liverpool, Obia Koshane Sapomunsu, and there is one thing that makes it quite difficult for Obia to defend the Premier League title. Fancy, I always say this: once someone in the Premier League, winning back-to-back titles is very difficult. Intina no Obia boss Alex Ferguson and Basso say a bad adaptation or a solid. Now Obiabo Jose Mourinho Abaso say about adaptation is solid because they know when to set back, they know when to attack, and they know when to keep possession, and they know the seasons they are supposed to scramble for wins, and they know when to pick during the season. Fancy Premier League na ya bono Ferguson not or type picky from December hodeko because you say a one day ebi obi play abeko AFCON obi play abepra obi play abe say ho no picking or the Argentine league Pep Guardiola be eduru maybe no eka FIBA January ho kono timi win 15 games the twaso no obi antimi hye no the Ababeji league Liverpool so bi last season abra mo hye league na say omo hye matches bebre ekori ase na bia na echire omo draw elusu bi no na still na league no omo ye dai obuwo Arsenal is trying to find the perfect balance between the two and try and get their results. But I think for Liverpool, this season will be much more important due to the fact that they've spent a lot of money in the market and expectations will definitely raise for them some media more results. Meshe Hawa and Slot ebe adapt because Premier League is an unforgivable league and fancy coaches ni suade. So munya wunu say weak point da ha on be boho de bia they will hit there. That is how the Premier League was. It also sound no ebi to Pep Guardiola obekaya eduru maybe no possessive ball na the following season oba na say there be masesa mensa no me be four back no me center back no be moving into the defensive midfield role with Rodri no asesa mensa no eduru maybe no asesa bibi fufro sa just to make sure say he keeps up the pace when it comes to the Premier League. So it's interesting to see say Liverpool will be in a competitive mix and I still remain say Liverpool I am a favorite to be the second on the league log.
Wow.
Going into this particular season when it comes to the Premier League. Fancy Chelsea a fox in the box in this particular discussion we are making about who is going to be really competitive when it comes to the Premier League. Chelsea are outsiders in this particular discussion we are making. But fancy the reason why I am slot focus and say we are world champion. The moment you become a world champion, England shall world nase. England almost a world nase. The moment you become the world champion, and you not only become the world champion for becoming world champion's sake, fancy, share the best club in Europe in the shape of Paris Saint-Germain. And at the end of the day, club World Cup. No? So if you call yourself world champion, you should be ready for any expectation about that also. Fancy, Chelsea supporters, our expectations per this season. So league no also multimedia. A more huge expectations. So the league no multimedia due to two reasons. One, they believe that they have a proper attack that can give them goals and help them compete. Number two, omo believe say area some team be and one more decide so no more which is true. Which is true. And Chelsea supporter be deserve say obenya hope. Say fancy omo betimi e dia bobo mo den a compete the league no. But baby omo so make catch omo say omo manage omo expectations near say playing one knockout game and now over knockout games. And it's over 38 Premier League matches. And the Champions League account a totally different ball game altogether. For example, last season Chelsea started on a very good note to Bekai.
Yeah.
So 38 league games injuries will mebwa. Bad form will mebwa. And there are few things that have been able to push to get a certain level of consistency when it comes to the Premier League. Fancy, yes. City mo any Liverpool Muji League no more previa chances or person G League na. And you can say lose more than 3 matches.
Yeah, because Omono only lose 3 matches no.
Assembly no.
And it's almost one in a
that is the standard of the Premier League.
Then it
now
means also lose fewer.
I also lose fewer. So if you want to win the league, Fatou wants to say league in one lose na say 3 matches video day. Yeah. Ulusi. Obo draw bebre so aso be she. It's even say in 38 games at least fancy Premier League record by Manchester City, the likes of Liverpool, even Arsenal in second place. At least I was 25 games to 28 games also to mission in. I'm talking about the competitive nature of the Premier League currently in this era. That is how you are supposed to play it. It may be something a lot of questions to say. Chelsea bet me about league season when you know bro and lose not less than 3 matches and be honest with yourself. What am I say? Liverpool bet me about league way without losing not less than 3 matches and yes, or my be damn young. Huh? City bet me about league way without losing less than 3 matches. Yes, or my be damn young. So these are the teams you are going to compete with. And I think match after match, week after week, Wednesday be Sunday Man City, how to balance the squad and get the right things out of them is very important in this aspect. Chelsea among these particular 4 clubs, you know, they have an outside chance. But I'm not saying I'm completely ruling them out. What did they mention as every single team I'm about to have a chance to win it. But Manchester City remains the favorite due to the fact that one experienced coach encore 2 seasons without winning the league. Encore 2 seasons without winning the league. And the Premier League, it's very difficult to defend it back to back, especially from Liverpool's part. Makacho said in recent times, meaning say new coaches be about your coaches be omutin beji no mo first season, second season. But I won't say coaches be na aba league no mo first season, no mo beji Liga. They follow. There are few of them. One pen a bit makana as a major say Mourinho. Oba no beji league 2004, 2005, 2005, 2006 no sa to so fancy. Anameboa. Aside on the buy, no Antonio Conte baby was in the first season and go ye no be akope baby atna. So it's left for Liverpool and Ancelotti to prove different points when it comes to these discussions we are making. Then there's Arsenal. Me di 2 years say Mikel Arteta's one league need this season Arsenal from Pamono.
Whoa.
Oh yes.
But meaning say unya bosswa most of Arsenal fans no I know unya dream because some fools say as a baby Wenger Jan ho Juna Emery mo Jan ho baby na Arsenal ewo Ateta ban wa pick up the pieces now.
The person me buso obokwa shi bi o. E dey ntina mo mugina so mo mpamo ase Wenger.
Wenger dey no.
Anaso mo ne papem we anya pamo kra mo ne mpa.
Dear
pa na ma Arsenal supporters edru maybe no more lose some position to as a Wenger. They should tell us. Because say fancy they were tired of 4th position. They were tired of 3rd position. They were tired of DBI and Timianje near FC. And no more side in near FC. They felt they said they were accepting mediocrity and they needed to move on to different levels.
Yeah.
Meboa.
Jonas Senior, generous na Nyoma bad.
None Nyoma bad for
Arsenal.
For Arsenal.
Wenger no.
And I say, Edru maybe ni dia na mo catch as a Wenger. Mo say ono born na wo na efe. But you be no Arsenal team league no. That's why I say Oji league after 2004 Arsenal league.
No.
Eh? Arsenal league.
To feel say Oma patient enough with Arteta.
For 6 years.
Na Juna Emery the next any man fino crowd.
Fancy. Shall me a top 4 club or 6 traditional clubs say what the EP anymore. Coach be this 6 years without winning the Premier League near man that's what you tell me. No, you tell me. So you want to rock shoulders with the top guys. And I'm a Arsenal calls themselves a big club, which is true when it comes to the Premier League in terms of history. Fancy 14 Premier League titles. Sometimes I'm here Arsenal for supporters in the say, it is different when Senka Mikel Arteta was the start of the project. Fancy. We can have a different discussion by saying, say, the fact still remains, say Arsenal are the 14 Premier League titles, so we are top 4 club in the Premier League. But the reality is, Ebi Omunyan Drew stage also Multimiji League, you know. Okay. But for 6 seasons, and how close are Arsenal are coming to the title? And Fancy, for spending not less than £1 billion, or say the city here, one Liga, so. For what reason? Which manager in this world you know? For 6 years, not less than £1 billion is winning league, you know. Fancy, we are not going to accept any mediocrity from Arsenal fans this season. Your team must win the league.
Hey,
they are equally good.
You must.
Yes, and you're equally good. No. New, but
you say Liverpool in the favorite to win. But sorry, Man City in the favorite. I'm not Liverpool 2-2, and I'll say 3.
Arsenal money that one
any Chelsea,
but
sir, apart from City, no, there are 3 now kind of
out. It doesn't mean they have 0 chances.
It means Arsenal also a chance.
But I don't know, do be 2 ahead of Arsenal.
Also, they're pecking on that. Only you to mean that.
Chelsea will be more than it will be.
And also, Chelsea to mean.
And also, Chelsea to mean.
And you do that bottom correct me.
No.
Liverpool budget, but Man City, sorry, Man City budget, but after 6 seasons.
Seasons 9 day.
Whoa, that's how they rap now. When you know how
only 6 seasons Mikel Arteta. Oh boy, excuses in and out. You see, the problem of Arsenal is not about so only quality to match the likes of the other teams. You know what I say? Me, I believe Mikel Arteta has also been a problem for Arsenal in terms of their quest to win the league. Oh yes. Fancy last season, me bufu Mikel Arteta to say maybe Arsenal was so much focused on set pieces rather than playing proper football to win games.
Henry Crabbe can be.
Oh, you bobo corner no many abre as you book game omo chance corner bi beba. Oh, omo chance corner bi beba. Omo chance bi beba. He is being a problem. Fancy enyoma hye ne kon.
Okay.
Me no obetimi kwa power this season. But fancy me there baby amegina na megina. Say Mikel Arteta must start proving himself as an elite coach for Arsenal. In the long run. But this season, striker Ben Adi teams already go okay. Maybe the Ellen Haaland na Bezala Sujina.
Mate.
It's the competitive market for strikers.
Mate.
Paris, Sesko, Haaland, and Jean Pedro.
Mate.
And Jean Pedro the way you know.
Where?
Jean Pedro the way you know.
Jean Pedro so on your striker.
Jean Pedro is striker.
Now
when I am striker.
Me Bob Bia.
David na when I am striker.
Liam Delap ne striker.
On I am center forward. If you Bobo is here, Liam Delap never
start. Oh, bet me a tournament Jean Pedro, but it doesn't mean yeah go.
David one am center forward. Pedro Jean Pedro abo
coach ne say ono prefer 3 or 4 players uni also prefer 3 or 4 players omo betimi obi alman goes down nipa ba ko be 40 goals na say nipa no so pray to so distribute division of labor ana now ni
but so on the center forward
no so on the center forward
oba mo ba bia bi apart from center forward
boy you cry man mo bi eno so
that's why I am a striker.
Plays a boost was
and I'm a striker every time.
Well, now, my share messages in kakra na for me bra a routine hona. Well, Brown Prince essay. Arsenal are not tired of Arsenal. We're not tired of